Britain is standing on the precipice of an unprecedented political storm, an upheaval of profound instability that is sending shockwaves throughout the entire nation. What was once seen as rock-solid now seems to be trembling beneath our feet. A political earthquake is unfolding, threatening to tear apart the long-standing institutions that have defined the very fabric of British democracy. At the heart of this turmoil lies a rift that may prove irreversible. The fragile, time-honored bond between the government and the monarchy appears to be cracking, and this time, it might not survive. Did you know that over 95% of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel? We totally get it, life gets busy, and sometimes it's easy to forget. But here's the thing, subscribing is completely free, and it really helps us keep creating the content you enjoy. So why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? It only takes a second, but it makes a world of difference to us. Thank you for your support. The man at the center of this unfolding crisis is none other than Prime Minister Keir Starmer. His recent actions have stunned the political establishment and ignited a firestorm of controversy that continues to spread. This is no ordinary Westminster scandal or routine policy disagreement. This is something far deeper, far more consequential. Starmer's decisions have struck at the very heart of Britain's constitutional framework, and the aftershocks are being felt across every corner of the nation. But before we delve into the details, a quick note. If you value sharp political analysis and want to understand what's truly happening behind the scenes, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Over 98% of viewers haven't subscribed yet, and your support helps us continue to deliver timely insights and hard-hitting perspectives on the dramatic shifts shaping the future of the United Kingdom. Now back to the crisis. Keir Starmer has made a stunning, high-risk move, a decision that is reverberating across the nation. He hasn't merely rattled the public or upset the opposition, he has directly challenged the authority of King Charles III. In doing so, he has taken a step that defies centuries of tradition and threatens the delicate constitutional balance that has long defined the United Kingdom. Under the UK's constitutional monarchy, the sovereign serves as a stabilizing force, a symbol of unity and continuity, especially during times of political turbulence. The monarch traditionally remains above the fray of politics, while the government respects the crown's symbolic and institutional role. But now that unwritten understanding has been shattered. Starmer has sidelined the monarchy in key national decisions, bypassing King Charles on matters where royal briefings were once considered not just tradition, but an essential norm. While the monarch holds no direct political power, protocol demands consultation and communication, a gesture of institutional respect. Yet Starmer's government, according to sources within Westminster, has not only ignored this courtesy, but has deliberately shut Buckingham Palace out of crucial conversations. The backlash has been swift and fierce. Public outrage is growing, opposition parties are seizing the moment to attack Labour's leadership, and even within Starmer's own camp, unease is on the rise. Whispers of rebellion are beginning to surface. Meanwhile, behind palace walls, King Charles is reportedly deeply disturbed. Traditionally committed to staying out of politics, he is now considering intervention. Should he choose to act, it would mark a historic turning point, one that could redefine the monarchy's role and shake the very foundations of British politics for years to come. So, what exactly has Keir Starmer done to provoke such alarm? Why is his decision being seen as such a dangerous breach of constitutional norms? And could this be the beginning of something far larger, a full-scale transformation of Britain's political elite? One thing is clear, the United Kingdom has entered uncharted territory. This moment will be remembered not just as a crisis, but as a turning point, one that could reshape the nation's future forever. Yet, the Starmer government, what some are now calling the Star Magma campaign, seems to have discarded centuries of tradition with startling confidence. High-level decisions are reportedly being made without prior notification to Buckingham Palace. This subtle but seismic shift is adding fuel to an already volatile political environment. Even more telling is the growing absence of the monarchy from state affairs. Events that were once defined by the royal family's presence are now proceeding without them. Ceremonial occasions that once included senior royals, from the opening of major infrastructure projects to state dinners, are taking place without their involvement. This has sparked a growing wave of public speculation. Is Prime Minister Starmer actively trying to diminish the monarchy's influence? It certainly appears that way. Reports suggest that Starmer's government is preparing a series of bold policy proposals that could further erode the monarchy's standing within Britain's constitutional structure. These proposed changes include redefining the monarch's advisory role, scaling back the ceremonial duties traditionally reserved for the royal family, and even transferring certain residual constitutional functions directly to the elected government. If implemented, these changes wouldn't just reduce the monarchy's power, they would effectively relegate it to the role of a figurehead, stripped of its long-standing institutional relevance. The crown would remain, but only as a symbolic ornament, not a constitutional safeguard. But what Keir Starmer may not have fully anticipated is the mounting backlash brewing behind the palace gates. King Charles III, who has long sought to follow in the politically neutral footsteps of his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II, now finds himself in a position he would rather not be in. According to palace sources, the king is deeply unsettled by the Prime Minister's dismissive approach to royal protocol. Behind closed doors, urgent meetings are said to be taking place involving senior members of the royal family and top advisors. Sources close to the palace reveal that both Queen Camilla and Prince William have strongly urged King Charles to respond more decisively. Their argument is clear and urgent: if the monarchy remains silent now, it risks becoming irrelevant. If the government succeeds in undermining the crown without facing resistance, future administrations may be emboldened to push even further, perhaps even challenging the very existence of the monarchy itself. In their view, the danger lies not in confrontation but in complacency. Allowing this erosion of tradition to go unchallenged could open the door to a permanent restructuring of Britain's constitutional order, one in which the monarchy holds little to no meaningful role. Yet, not everyone within the royal household agrees with this line of action. Some advisors are urging King Charles to proceed with extreme caution. They warn that any action perceived as political interference could damage the monarchy's most sacred principle, neutrality. If the king were to speak out directly or take any public stand against the government, it could give Prime Minister Starmer all the justification he needs to accelerate reforms, framed not as a power grab, but as a necessary step to protect democracy from royal interference. The royal family finds itself in a precarious position, where both action and inaction carry enormous risks. What makes this crisis particularly dangerous is that it transcends ritual and symbolism. It strikes at the very heart of Britain's identity, its unwritten constitution, and the delicate balance of power between elected leaders and hereditary stewards. This is no longer merely about public appearances or royal pageantry, it's about the future of an institution that has endured for over 1,000 years. If King Charles remains silent, history may remember him as the monarch who presided over the quiet dismantling of the crown. But if he chooses to act, if he finds the courage to push back against a rapidly consolidating government, he may reshape the monarchy's role for generations to come. Either way, the United Kingdom now stands at a crossroads. The decisions made in the coming weeks could determine whether the monarchy remains a central pillar of British life or fades into ceremonial obscurity. Meanwhile, beyond the palace walls, Prime Minister Keir Starmer's political authority is beginning to falter. What began as a constitutional dispute is now spilling into the wider political arena, with whispers of rebellion echoing throughout Westminster. These murmurs aren't just coming from a disillusioned public, they are circulating within Britain's most powerful circles. Sources close to the Conservative Party suggest that senior Tory figures are holding late-night strategy sessions, aiming to fully exploit the current crisis. Their objective is not just to discredit Starmer, but to force an early general election, a bold move that could pave the way for the Conservatives to return to power amid the chaos. But the Tories are not the only ones maneuvering in the shadows. Within Starmer's own Labour Party, internal divisions have intensified at an alarming rate. What was once simmering discontent has now boiled over, and even some of Starmer's most loyal allies are questioning whether he should remain at the helm. The fear is growing that if he stays, he could drag the entire party down with him. In an extraordinary turn, some Labour MPs have quietly reached out to opposition figures, exploring political arrangements that would have been unthinkable just months ago. According to a senior Labour MP who spoke anonymously, he thought he could transform Britain overnight, but he misread the room. Now, the people he set out to lead are turning against him. This is no longer just a leadership crisis, it's a full-blown rupture within the Labour Party. And unless someone acts swiftly, it could spiral into political collapse. The only question is, who will make the first move? Will the Conservatives strike while the iron is hot, or will embattled Labour MPs move against their own leader in a desperate bid to save their careers and salvage what's left of their party? One thing is certain, the clock is ticking, and Starmer's grip on power grows weaker by the day. History has shown that when British leaders ignore the will of the people, the consequences are severe. From the English Civil War to modern grassroots protests, the British public has consistently proven that silence is not an option when core national values are under threat. And today, that pattern appears to be repeating. Starmer's recent actions have unleashed a surge of anger across the country. Protests are breaking out in major cities, with activists demanding accountability. But more than that, some are calling for direct action. There's growing support for a nationwide strike, a mass boycott of government directives, and even a referendum to reinforce the monarchy's role as a check on political overreach. Some political commentators are now drawing eerie parallels to the pre-Brexit fervor, one in which a crucial national issue forced the public into a battle for its very identity. The United Kingdom, it seems, is once again on the edge of a political revolution. Just as the public once rose up against EU dominance, it now seems ready to rally in defense of the monarchy, protecting it from what they perceive as an overreaching prime minister. What has truly surprised many, however, is the quiet but steadily growing support for King Charles from within the establishment. Early reports suggest that retired civil servants, veterans, and even some active police officers are voicing their concerns, albeit discreetly but decisively. While there is no concrete evidence of an organized movement, the fact that influential figures within the system are beginning to speak out should serve as a serious warning to Starmer's government. The question now is not only how this crisis will end, but how far the British public is willing to go to defend the traditions, institutions, and values they believe are being undermined. If the government continues to disregard the people's voice, the situation could escalate far beyond anyone's expectations. This political crisis is no longer confined within Britain's borders. Shockwaves are now reverberating across Europe, and the world is beginning to take sides. Some European leaders, particularly those from strongly Republican-leaning countries, have quietly voiced support for Starmer's bold and controversial direction. In France, political commentators have applauded efforts to curtail the monarchy's influence, viewing it as a progressive step toward modern governance. In Germany, a number of MPs have even speculated that this moment could signal the beginning of the end for constitutional monarchy, not just in the UK, but as a global model of leadership. This split in international reaction raises a far deeper question. As Britain teeters on the edge of a historic transformation, will its longtime allies step forward to defend the crown and its constitutional traditions, or will they watch from the sidelines as one of the world's oldest monarchies is reshaped, or even dismantled, before our eyes? Now, we want to hear from you. Should King Charles intervene in this political storm, or should he maintain the monarchy's long-standing tradition of neutrality? Are we witnessing the downfall of the Labour government in real time, or does Keir Starmer still have a path to redemption? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on every twist and turn in this unprecedented political showdown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who care about the truth behind Britain's shifting future. Meanwhile, on the global stage, Starmer has made headlines for reasons that go beyond Buckingham Palace. His recent comments on the war in Ukraine, bold, firm, and unwavering, have sparked intense international reactions. Starmer has doubled down on his commitment to NATO and reinforced the UK's support for Ukraine, delivering strong words against Russian aggression. While these statements were clearly designed to project strength and leadership, they have also opened a new front of criticism from across the Atlantic. Former U.S. President Donald Trump, never one to miss an opportunity to shape the conversation, issued a sharp and stinging rebuke of Starmer's foreign policy. Trump didn't mince words, directly challenging the core of Starmer's stance, asking the question many now find impossible to ignore: can the United Kingdom truly stand up to Russia without the backing of the United States? That question strikes a deep chord. It undermines the very narrative Starmer has worked hard to build, that of British global independence, leadership, and geopolitical resolve. It exposes a far less flattering reality: Britain, isolated from the EU and facing internal turmoil, may not be ready to lead without broader international support. Trump went further, issuing a cryptic warning: "I could collapse Russia's economy in days if I wanted to, but I want peace." The subtext was clear: while Britain may be charging forward diplomatically, the real levers of global power still lie elsewhere. This should serve as a stark warning to Starmer. As he tries to position Britain as a global leader, the geopolitical landscape is far more treacherous than it appears. His government is now caught between asserting strength abroad and maintaining stability at home. With the monarchy crisis still unfolding, Starmer's decision to step into global conflict could soon be seen not as a bold move, but as a reckless one. The world is watching, and every move Britain makes from here on out carries immense consequence. At home, the monarchy's fate hangs in the balance, and abroad, its international standing is being tested in ways not seen since the post-war era. So now we ask you again, what do you make of this moment? Is Starmer steering the nation into a stronger future, or dragging it into dangerous and uncharted waters? Share your thoughts below. We're here for your voice, your perspective, and your take on Britain's future. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and stay tuned, because this story is only just beginning. Thank you for watching, stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next.